off at the O-Dome. Teresa Plaisance controls it to Jean Kenny.
First possessions of games really intrigue me to see who's going to set the tone. Amanda Butler's team normally does set the tone at home, Kara, with their defensive presence. They'll get after you pretty tough. Was that a whistle out of the blue there?
I think it was a shot clock situation. Timing issue. Bonds brings it up for the Gators. High screen from George. Right back at her. Tough to move around Teresa Plaisance now. She'll try again. Jennifer George with the left.
Well, LSU playing some tough defense right there. Looked like they were in a man-to-man. They normally play a matchup zone, and they were playing some tough defense. Both these teams struggling a little bit on the defensive end, Kara.
Ballard confidently into the lane. Misses the shot, but a strong board for Plaisance. Carnival rims at that end for LSU to start this game. Rarely see Webb miss that baseline jumper.
Very rarely. When she gets heated up, she's pretty good. Looking at Florida playing a little zone. This is going to be interesting watching the different defenses that come out of these two coaches.
Shot clock under 10 for Florida. Bonds can't get it to trickle.
Great job of boxing out by LSU, and that's one thing we've got to keep our eye on. It's just this battle of the boards.
Webb for three, in and out. Kayla Lewis bringing it up for the Gators. Florida trying to exercise patience in the half court to get it to George.
You know, Kara, this is going to be something to watch also is Florida really taking the ball to Teresa Plaisance, because they know that LSU needs to keep her on the floor. Plaisance, I wouldn't call a great defender, and Jennifer George taking the ball right at her and getting around her pretty easily.
Plaisance with the size advantage there now, but George with the speed advantage.
Absolutely. Good footwork by Jennifer George on the block with her post moves. But the one thing, even though George gets around her, Plaisance leads the league in blocks. She's averaging about 3 blocks a game. And
quick hands of Kayla Lewis creates another possession for the Gators. Florida with a 5-0 advantage, all points from their senior leader. George, good patience inside.
Absolutely, and you can see what Florida's trying to do early on, and that is to attack the block. Get that ball into their leading scorer's hands, and not only for Jennifer, but to attack Plaisance.
Lutley can't drop the little runner. George again, just rolls out.
Sometimes the shot's so easy, the player can't believe they're not being contested or hit.
Kenny works it inside to Plaisance, led her a little far, but Bianca Lutley, right place, right time. George may have stepped on a foot the last time down on Florida's end of the court. Tying her shoe now, and the first substitution of the game for Florida. Vicky.
The styles of both coaches liking the inside game. They're all attacking the glass. We haven't seen the outside of Webb's pull-up jumpers. We're not seeing that kind of style of a game.
Both coaches also told us to watch transition, and that hasn't played a key role in these early minutes.
Both teams are getting back and not allowing those easy baskets.
Carly Needles short on the three. Ballard trying to push. And a foul in the backcourt. Needles a little over-aggressive.
Well, it's unfortunate because it didn't affect the play a whole lot, but she did push her. She got her hand on her back and pushed her, and the referee was looking right at it.
emergence of Ballard helping John Kenny play more off the ball. Gators ball when we return. It's been a physical game so far. No team's been able to score in transition, but the half-court game has worked, and this three-pointer for Lily Savetti as well. Florida with a 10-4 lead. Jennifer George with the early impact.
No question. This is their go-to player, and Florida is going to her, Kara. She's got 7 points, 7 of their 10 points, and everything is right there on the block. This is a player that's coming back from a first-team All-SEC season and picking up right where she left off. I mean, 25 double-doubles, leads the SEC in active players right now. She's a tough, tough guard on that block.
Also the active career leader in rebounding, very high in blocks. She's one of those players that we've enjoyed maturing each year, and each different year her game has hit a new level. We'll see what she can do as a senior. Over and back, Florida lost control.
That's a costly turnover, and it's unfortunate, but that matchup zone that LSU plays really was extending those guards out to reverse the ball, just couldn't find a way to get the ball reversed.
A bulk substitution for Florida, 3 new players on the floor for the Gators. And it's the youngsters, January Miller, Sydney Moss. Great aggressive offensive rebounding for Shanice McKinney.
It's a great way to make a statement from you. Just came off the bench. Get on those boards. Coaches like that. Get on the boards.
Miller works her way through the double team all the way to the basket. Kristen Mercer clobbered on the rebound. A lot of youth on the floor right now, Nell. Physicality could get a little sloppy.
Absolutely, and that's okay. These kids will play their way through it. The game will probably, it'll even its way out as it goes along. But right now they're excited to be on the floor.
George drops it down to Kristen Mercer. And one.
You know, that high-low that you just saw them run, Florida does a good job of running that with George and Mercer, and also when McIntyre is in the game. We'll probably see a little bit more of that as this attacking this matchup zone.
Mercer, the freshman out of Douglasville, Georgia, Douglas County High School. Converts the three-point play.
Mercer kind of in that same physicality with her body as a Jennifer George. It'll be interesting to see how she develops in her 4 years here at Florida.
Ballard straight to the basket.
That is, just watch her crossover today, okay?
I've already seen her go behind her back twice and thought that was about the smoothest thing I've seen in a long time.
Behind her back, she will break your ankles on a crossover dribble.
Shot clock at 10 for the Gators. Aggressive defense from Lutley. George tries to get it back, and finally a jump ball is called Gators possession.
Love watching players just get on the floor and scrambling after balls. That's how you try to set the tone for your team.
All seniors involved there. Lutley, Webb, George. They've done this SEC thing for a while. But Lefty Moss goes up with one on the shot clock. George keeps it alive.
Offensive rebounding. Florida's getting their share of them right now.
Ballard. Oh, she's smooth now.
She really is. And to think that she's just a freshman, she has a great knack for the game, Kara, that you don't teach a player. They come to you with that feel for the game.
Miller with the pull-up. She answers, the freshman out of Orlando.
She's come on strong the last 4 games. She's really been a great contributor for the Gators. I know Coach Butler is very excited about the future of January Miller.
Adrienne Webb, her first basket. 5-point Gator advantage. Young Florida team on the floor with Moss, Miller, and Mercer, all freshmen. Oh, Jennifer George wanted it. Instead, the tough cross-court pass is picked off.
Well, the one thing this LSU team has to do is make sure that they take the right shot on the floor. And it's not always in transition. Sometimes you have to wait and run a little bit of offense to get a better look.
Bond's trying to push tempo. Mercer walked on the wing. Needles checks in for Florida, and the first we've seen this afternoon for a freshman for LSU, Dariel Youngblood.
Now, this is a player that takes me back to my Auburn coaching days, and Kiki Carrier. Do you remember Kiki?
Aircraft carrier. Who could forget
6'7".
Kiki?
I mean, it's just a large presence in the paint. Whether they score or not, but it makes a big difference defensively for sure. I like the changing up defenses that Florida's doing. They're going man, zone. You never know what you're going to get.
Kenny's first basket is a 3 to bring it to a 2-point edge for Florida.
That's something John Kenny can shoot the 3. That's what she was recruited to do out of high school. Her not shooting it as well this year, but she can heat up at any point in time.
So can Carly Needles. Shot clock under 10. Moss.
That's a pretty shot, Kara. And a lefty at that.
There's an effortless grace for number 40 in white, complemented by number 32 in purple. They just look too mature to be freshmen.
And just think, we're going to see them for 4 years.
I'm stoked.
Absolutely. They're just going to get better and better.
Lutley for 3.
Well, we knew coming into this game that these two teams could score, right? They're not disappointing us.
Gators with a 1-point advantage. Kenny in position. George got upended, hit the deck hard.
LSU fouls on number 5, Zone Kenny for 7.
Jennifer George slow to get up. There's a timeout on the floor. We'll keep an eye on Florida's senior. At least on her knees now, getting to her feet. We'll be back.